this is about the Go Cloud initiative that we've started. And mainly the focus is to carry our customers alongside the technology journey. So today is the Immersion Day. It's a program. Most of you receive a letter that spell out the various stages of the program. So what I'm going to do now is to give some high level expectation, or let me say what the whole Go Cloud is about and what you should expect in Microsoft Azure. The second part, of course, will be on the Copilot, which is the AI, Microsoft AI tool. So I will be presenting, and as you said, the program is jointly being done by Redington and Multithread. He has introduced us already, so I'll skip to the agenda. So a brief on Multithread, the cloud technology, what are the service model, why is this important to your business? And then we'll go into some common use scenarios, discussing how the migration is possible and all that. And of course, your Q&A is very important. That's what will drive the detail to bring relevance to why you are actually here. So Multithread ICT Solutions, we operated 7 years before we were incorporated in 2014. So it looks on paper that we are 10 years, but I've actually been around a bit longer than that. But those times were more of an enterprise that we're running, but we got fully incorporated in 2014 and with one single purpose: to do IT right. And for that, we built a lot of capacity, especially in Microsoft technology. As we have discussed, there are other areas that we build capacity, but the focus is Microsoft today. If there's any other aspect of technology you want to talk to us about, Edmond is very happy to engage you. If we are not doing it or we are not good at it, we'll be sincere and tell you we don't do it. So we are trying to catch out a niche for ourselves for being very sincere and honest and transparent with our customers. So in the Microsoft, you know us popularly with M365. We've done some security solutions for a lot of organizations, including the central bank. And then we've done a number of business process automations and also building a lot of capacity in the ERP and all that. So this one, we are discussing from more under the last one, is the business continuity and disaster recovery, where we are leveraging agile technologies to do that. So let's start from what we all know. Then before we entered into the unknown, what is cloud computing? I think everybody here will definitely know what it is. But for the purpose of our conversation, let us go by the definition on the screen. So it's an on-demand delivery of computing service over the internet, okay? And it will include all the things from storage to processing, database, networking, and all that. And of course, the concept has been basically is the same data center. And the only thing is that you are not responsible for managing the physical, the power, and all the other stuff. So you come and use a service. That is basically the cloud. And I believe everybody is aware of that. So when you say that we all understand what the cloud computing is, then what is Microsoft Azure? Microsoft Azure is basically Microsoft version of cloud computing. That's all. So we know the competitors who have been doing this, some earlier, some late in the process, but Microsoft version of it is called the Microsoft Azure, and it contains a lot. There's no need for you to read everything on the screen. It is just to show you, but for the headlines on the extreme left top, you see the security and management, and under that, you see a number of security solutions that Microsoft is offering. Moving towards the right, there's media and CDN. Down, you see integration, service, compute. Down, up, you see in the middle, application platform. So whether you are looking for a platform for your web apps, your mobile apps, your API, your cloud services, and the server, and even the functions. Maybe you just want to leverage on some function to do something. We've done typically for one of our clients where we use the Azure function to package some data. We are receiving, that solution receives emails, data from Excel, another thing, and then we take all that data and send it into Azure Function and cook it in a way to bring some results, and then we come and put that results in a data store and use the BI to produce it. So those things are available. There's a lot of developer services as well on it. And then at the top right, you see data, okay, whether it's Azure database, whether it is even Cosmos DB, okay, Redis, cognitive search, and all these things are available on the Azure platform. And we have the intelligence as well in the Azure bot service, the Cortana, analytics, yeah, AD inside, machine learning, stream, and all that. So there is a lot. Then on the right extreme is the hybrid. So we are also able to hybrid. One of the popular solutions that are coming now is the Azure Arc HCI. I think for the big enterprises, for if you are looking at your organization that need to leverage on the cloud, but you are concerned about putting your data on the cloud, the data is on-prem and you have the financial muscle, Microsoft is able to ship you a run rack of Azure servers, if I should call it that way. So we are able to bring you a server. The server is sitting inside your data center with very good internet connection, and that's where all your Azure. So it's the same Azure, the same interface as you access on the internet, but you are going to have your own node and the data will be stored locally. It's a way of curing the need of whether the data is sitting somewhere or distant. So it's a very cool way for those who can afford and have the need for data sovereignty to be in the country. Then there are all the other down things, as you can see on the screen, the OS, the storage, and all that. So this is, on my last check, Microsoft has more than 200 products and services and more than 41,000 marketplace offers. When I say marketplace offers, it talks about the other third-party services, whether you are maybe a Sophos fanatic and you want to use a Sophos firewall on the Azure, though you are on Azure, you want to believe that Sophos also something you do that will require that you use some third party, whether it is SAP and all those other even Cisco products, any of the technologies that you want to use, those are all fall under what you call the Azure Marketplace, and there's more than 41,000 of them. I think as we engage in the Q&A come and all that, if there are specific things you're looking for, we can answer that. So that is basically cloud computing and the Microsoft Azure at a high level, okay, at a high level. Now, this is also a popular thing. This is just to also help us drive a conversation home. So this is typically how the services run. So the Azure, the cloud service model, and the cloud service model, we typically have the traditional system on the left. This is what we are all doing now. Okay, this is what we are all doing now. So most of us have some data center or some system on-prem. That's a traditional on-prem system. So when you're going to the cloud, you may go to the cloud as infrastructure as a service. I know some of you know this already. I'm just using it to build a case. So the infrastructure as a service, then Microsoft, or we at Microsoft, Redington, Multithread, we are managing the down part, okay, from the networking to storage to server. Then the OS app is your responsibility. And then when we move to the platform as a service, we go all the way to the runtime, and then the data and applications are yours. And then there's a software as a service. Typical one you are using now is the Microsoft 365. So this is a typical thing. I just want you to have that in your mind as we having the conversation, so that when we say infrastructure as a service or platform as a service, it aligns accordingly. Now, these are the common, mostly the conversation about Azure is in the middle one that I've just highlighted, right? So those are mostly what we are talking about now when it comes to Azure. Either we are doing infrastructure as a service or platform as a service. Software as a service will be very few. In that case, you are basically come to subscribe to a service. But for the conversation we are having, we are looking at things that will augment some of the things that you are doing. Now, if we are talking about the cloud, and we are having a conversation about what cloud computing is and the relevance of cloud, relevance of it to business is what? What is the relevance? Why are we here? Why are we, using your precious time to be online with us, listening to at this time, and we are just talking about cloud computing to you? What is so important and what is the relevance of it? In life, there are very relevant things. There have been some very relevant people who have done very relevant things, and they are long gone, and we still remember them. I believe it's about what relevant we also bring to our businesses that matter. It's not necessarily about how expensive or how cheap it is. Surprisingly, most of us in IT are beginning to realize that there's an incident, and we have, I mean, a recent incident with some of our our clients. And when the incident happened, management really, all of a sudden, management appetite for cost control just vanished. And it's amazing. And sometimes we come to us as a shock. We'll be like, are you not the one that say we should cut down budget? Why now are you not interested? So overall, trust me, management focus is not necessarily cheap. For now, it might look at it, but overall, it's about relevance. What is the relevance of you, your department, and everything you represent to the company? So what is the relevance of Azure to you? Cost efficiency, ability to move from CapEx to OpEx, basically going to buy one server costing $50,000 to spending the same server online that is maybe doing $500 a month, and maybe the whole year is coming to $5,000. By the 10th year, it will be 10 years before it will get $50,000. But if you buy a physical server, $50,000 by 5 years maximum, if not 3 years, with the speed of which we are going to technology now, is 3 years, maximum 5 years. The server is obsolete and you don't need it again. You need to replace the server again. But you could have the same server running on the cloud at the cost of $5,000 a year. That means that by the 5th year, you are barely $25,000. So that is value, real value in terms of what you get, because always the latest version is powered, is always online, is efficient and all that. And yet it is coming at a cheaper cost. That is one of the value that your organization would like to see from you as an IT professional or as IT consultant or as a manager. Scalability is easy. If you buy the server and it is a 10-core server, so be it. If your application overgrow it, you are stuck with it. You need to go and buy a new one. And that is where your management start eating you up and start wondering whether you know what you're about. Of course, you didn't make any mistake. As at the time we were doing it, how did we know that you're going to grow that fast? You couldn't tell. You're not a prophet. And you were also concerned because they keep on bashing your head with cost. So you felt that let's get a server with 10 cores. After all, the system will use only 4 cores for now, or even 6 cores for now. There is not. But then there's a boom, and then you are stuck with it. So Azure gives you that scalability. There is innovation. New technologies are being released every now and then. I was talking about the Azure function. We needed to work on that application. If we are to develop those code and functions, it would have taken a long time. But we just took advantage of the Azure function on the cloud, use it to cook the data and bring it back. Business continuity, disaster recovery is guaranteed. Accessibility and collaboration, wherever you are, globally, you guys, somebody can be in Ghana, you can get an engineer or a friend or somebody to work with you remotely. Security is guaranteed. The conversation used to be that the cloud is not secure. Now we know. And in case if you have not confirmed that we can have that conversation, it is now known. If you look at the kind of state-sponsored attack that is going on, nobody's on-prem infrastructure is stronger than any of the cloud service providers, including Microsoft Azure. So now it is settled that the cloud as such has become more secure in terms of cyber attacks. What is the loophole now is people being able to configure it correctly and protecting it themselves. Relevance, security, agility, and flexibility. You can upsize and you can also downsize. If you do a 4-core server and your application don't need it, you don't need any memo or any letter or any contract to be canceled. You can scale down. Then you can come back again. These are key 7 values why I strongly recommend that you should look into Microsoft Azure as you run your business. What are some of the common uses? Okay, what are some of common use cases? You can use it to create and host application and digital service and websites. Okay, so that is one key common use scenario. Second, store data backup and for disaster recovery. Key point, take advantage of the next leap in artificial intelligence. Recently, I was talking to a friend and he said he's building his own AI from scratch. And I'm like, okay, very interesting. It's a good initiative, but how long is it going to take to catch up with any of that? If he's building something unique For a unique market, yes. But seriously, we could take advantage of what they have done already and leverage on it and build something better than what they have done, or to build something that we need to use. So it is important. You can keep on the down left, keep your business secure and compliant, because if it's about ISO 27000 that you need to meet, the Azure already meet that. So whatever application, whatever system you put on it is already compliant. Then what is only left is your processes and how you connect to it, which reduces, because if you to build your own server room or your data center, it will take a lot of it to meet that compliance. I'm not saying you need to throw away your data center. It is that there are certain things you can do it quicker when you're doing on the cloud. Then unlock the potential of connecting devices, the ability of allowing multiple devices to connect from around the world. Then you can analyze data and make predictive analysis with the BI and the Azure BI and all that there is. So these are the 6 common scenarios that I want you to look at. But let me give you 4 core scenarios that you shouldn't forget. You can take a note of it and then write it down. 1 is to host customer applications. It is the smart thing to do. It is the future, like our leader in Chroma.
Man, please, you've left that slide. If you can go a step back.
Which slide? Yeah, I'm moving on. I'll use it to explain in the next 4. These are the highlights, but I'm going to explain them in the next 4 slides. Is that okay?
Yes, it says please. Go ahead. I thought it was a glitch. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's interactive. We are going to have a lot of conversation around these things, so it's fine. Thank you for the input. So maybe just to touch on that, there are 4 key areas. I don't want to say only website. That's why I've broken down early. It's for hosting. It's about VM. It's about backup. It's about disaster recovery. But I will explain each of them in the next slide. So like our leader, Kwame Nkrumah, those that were at his time, unfortunately, did not see the vision. Down many years, we are now wishing that we were there, or at least he is around. The younger generation is itching for a leader that is selfless, that have the future in mind and can look into their interest. And yet we are where we are without any political talk here. The future, or the smart thing to do now that is future-proof, is to look into putting applications that your customers access a lot consistently in the cloud than to put it in your on-prem system and be battling with attacks. You are having attack here and there, your firewall is always crying, your UTM, and then you keep on buying a lot of security solutions because there are many attempts to breach you and you are getting breached. Why do you put the very thing that people connect to inside when it can be safe outside under the protection of the big guys who have what it takes? Look into the future by taking a decision today that is relevant today and into the future. It is smart. And surprisingly, one of our customers did this very early, more than 5 years ago. I didn't know why he did that, because they had all the infrastructure and every wild thing that they can buy. And yet they came to buy Azure, and then they put just 2 applications in. They deal with a lot of international companies. And the IT guy was like, look, so long as that application is my data center, I can't sleep. My phone is always have to be this thing, because if that server have an issue, either have to log in remotely or have to drive to the office and go and fix it, because they are processing something that allow people to access and process something before they can even access the country. I don't want to give too much information. And whenever that server have a glitch, they cannot sleep. And they put it on cloud, and it is amazing. They have even increased now. They have almost about 10 servers also in the cloud. It does not take everything away. It is more secure, it is reliable, a leverage of modern tools, is 24 hours, and there's backup and recovery, and you get a lot of peace of mind. You are not moving your entire data center and your entire service. As IT people, I come across my colleagues, and when we are talking, they say, if I move it to the cloud, what's the relevance of me? Then there's no relevance of we IT people. That is in the past. That today, IT is not the people that check the server and replace data hard disk. Today, IT are the people that understand, based on the understanding of technology, they are helping their companies to adopt smart technologies, helping their companies to adopt smart technologies in order to be efficient. That is the today's IT. For those of you that love movies, there's this popular movie that was called Arrow. I think it's a series. When you watch that series, all the IT people in it are not people who are actually busy fixing this. And if you look at most of the modern movies and the modern talk, it's about, do you understand your business enough? And do you know what technologies your business can take advantage of to have competitive edge? That is what your management is expecting from you. That is the future. That is something you can do now that will give you the future relevance, just like we miss our own Osajifo Kwame Nkrumah. Second thing you should look at is to take advantage of cloud backup. It could be CCTV video, it could be scanned document, it could be some archival thing that keep on increasing in size again and again and again, and you keep on buying storage, you are maintaining the storage, and you go to management to keep on, again, they keep on asking you, why are you keep on buying? You can put that in the cloud and it will not cost you that much. We'll touch on a few figures for sure. So look at it. There could be certain things that you can easily store in the cloud, or you can back it up in the cloud and to give you a lot of peace of mind. And whether you are using the inbuilt Windows, native Windows or Azure backup, or you are using third-party solution, whether it's Veritas or Vim, to be able to back up, these options are both supported. So it does not mean that your backup solution will need to be thrown away. Maybe you will keep your current backup, and when it's getting full or as getting obsolete, you can look at it. And that is why our business team, led by Edmond, is bringing this, and to give you some free credit to try this. Maybe your worry is, how does it work? How secure is it? How reliable it is? And it's for you to see it, even if you're not making a decision now, but to let you know that these things are doable, it is feasible, it is what the smart people do now, and it's something that will protect you into the future. One of the big areas, the third area, I said 4, there are a lot of areas, but I want you to take away these 4. The third one is disaster recovery. That is equivalent of your $1 million DR site or co-location site that you are paying a lot for, and yet you don't even use it. 90% of the time, if not 95%, we never use our DR. And yet, almost every enterprise in this country must have a DR, especially if you want to do ISO or something, or if you want to be serious with business. And the DR is no cheap. Either you build it yourself, extremely expensive, or you go and do co-location. It means you buy the servers and go and put the server there. You are being charged comfortably. I wouldn't say it is too expensive. Of course, it's worth the price, but the server you're going to put there will be obsolete. So you're going to have a $50,000 or $100,000 server that you will never use. It's at the DR. Maybe at best you use it for reporting, and then after 3 years, you go and replace it again. Look at Azure. Even this technology, we felt it might not be that popular until one of our clients had a situation and said, look, you just do 2 critical servers and put it there. I have not asked their permission, but one day maybe one of our this, and I'll let them talk. It is what saved them. They had a ransomware attack with all the firewalls and all that. They didn't do anything wrong. They just had the state attack, one of those states that attacked, and it cut through, had a ransomware, everything on-prem got locked. It is the one that they put on the Azure site recovery that they switched to. The beautiful thing about this is that it make a live replication of your database, your servers, and things to the cloud, a photocopy of it, and then update it live. So when it happened, they just switch, and there's a way we switch, and then they switch and started using. The organization was up for a few times. They had to go the next day because they have to go through some protocol, else the solution was available, and they work in the cloud, I think, for the past almost 6 months now. And now they have taken their time to scrap the on-prem and then rebuild the on-prem and return it back. The site recovery costs nothing, almost nothing, very small amount, and it only runs the cost of the service when you switch to live. So when you are the DR mode, the cost is very negligible, and you can try that with the credit we are giving you. And it's a beautiful solution. Beyond what I know from Microsoft, We have seen it with a customer locally, and the person is impressed. I'm impressed myself. For your DR side, start looking into this solution, and you can test it yourself, and you'll be glad you did. For number 4, development and test is one thing that every IT must do. But trust me, management will not buy you a server for your dev and test. They won't do it. At best, they will tell you use one of the old servers. And the old servers are probably not up. And yet you also need to be up of the game and you are stuck. With just some small amount of money, you can have your dev and test. Currently, we are working with more than 5, maybe 5 software companies who are IT, like companies that develop softwares. And they have a dev test environment with us in Azure. And it's not costing much. One of them is costing as little as $100 a month, just $100 a month. And that is where his dev and test environment is saving him all the thing, including the ISO audit that say the server you're using for your testing is also part of the infrastructure. You must secure it. And it becomes a whole lot of things. It is cost efficient, it is scalable. You have access to innovative tools, speed and agility. You get access to advanced tools, collaboration, security, and compliance is all checked out. So those are the 4 areas I want you to note, even if everything I say, you forget all of them. The 4 key areas: hosting of your customer-facing application, backing up, taking care of the backup, disaster recovery site, and your dev and test environment. This is how it's supposed to be for those of you that cannot go totally cloud. Your on-prem, owned by it, controlling it and doing all the things you must do, and some form of cloud that you can use, maybe the 4 areas I mentioned or some other few areas, and it makes you being able to become service brokers, where you now look at what your organization need and give them the right thing. That's not all. Let me use the next 5 minutes to quickly run through some of the other advanced areas or the other areas so that I do not shortchange you because of the 4 areas I want you to focus at. So one of them we call the Azure File Sync that allows you to synchronize. If you have 2 locations that need to share files, it's not really anything complex, not any live file, but there's certain document policies, data that you have location 1 and location 2, and they must share it, but somebody have to drive and go and deliver the data there. It could be within Accra or outside. You can take advantage of the Azure File Sync that allows you to synchronize files from one server to another. Your server is local, so that in case they need to work on it, they don't need internet access. It could be you setting up the servers at location 1 and location 2, and they work with it daytime, and then in the night, you use the the internet availability in the night to synchronize to make sure that whatever is at B get to A and whatever is at A get to B for them to work the next day. As simple as that. Very simple solution that will not cost much, but could save you a lot of issue. Second area is the Azure App Services, where you are able to build your web application and manage it securely on cloud, or your .NET, automatic load balancing, build auto scaling. It can scale automatically, and being able to migrate. That is also one of the areas. Not only that, we also have models for databases, whether it is your unique database that you want to do virtual machines for and put it in the cloud. An ideal case for when you have legacy or existing applications that cannot be modernized, or you don't want to modernize and you want to do, you can do that. You can also subscribe to the Azure Managed SQL, which is best for modernizing existing app, or you can go for the Azure SQL database, which is best for supporting modern cloud apps if you're building new apps. So you're not left alone. In terms of common migration project, you can migrate your Windows servers, you can migrate your SQL, you can migrate Linux, your dev test environment, your web app, SAP, VMware, NetApp. If you have VMware servers, you can still migrate it. It's not only that, or you have a VDI technology you want to move up also. All these are allowed. I'll touch up on migration in a bit and all that. So the next thing that I also want you to take advantage of is that the Azure is not only for the big boys. This is for both the small boys, the middle boys, and the big boys. If you look at the virtual machine side, I'll stay here for a minute. Entry-level servers. You can get entry-level servers for some basic things. You can get servers that are best. It means it can start small and scale up when you need it. We have general purpose servers. We have confidential computing. If your organization processes data and it must meet certain confidential distance, there are specific servers that meet the regulatory, whether it's PCI, DSS, or any of those high level compliance to meet. There are specific servers you can create and they will meet it. If you show it to your compliance team, they will agree. Or you need compute intensive servers, memory optimized one, GPU accelerated. Maybe you are doing graphics or some processing of data that need graphic processing is there. High performance computing is also there. Storage optimized or even quantum computing is all available. You can leverage on standard hard disk, standard SSD disk, premium SSD, or even ultra disk that are able to go very smart. And you can use other Windows, SQL, Linux, VMware, SAP, and all those other things. So you are covered in terms of the technology stack that you can use. And if in case you are not too sure which way to go, we will share this slide. This is very small. Maybe for some of you can see, but whether you are going to migrate your existing on-prem or you're going to build new, this chart help you to make the right decision because I've spoken about a number of services. So the question then will be which one is which one is can do what. This chart will help you to know what you should do. If you're migrating, is it lift and shift or you take opportunity to optimize it? Which way do you go to? If it's a new one, what do you do? Do you need HPC? Do you need microservices? Do you need event-driven workload? Then what services are available? This will help you to be able to choose. And beyond this, we are also here based on your unique situation with our capability and with our partner, Redington, and with the Microsoft engineers we have supporting us, we'll be able to guide you to make the right decision. So do not be afraid as well. And Microsoft has made key investment into migration. When it comes to migration, you are not left alone. It's not a matter of just click and paste things and then it fails. Then you are hot. No, there's a Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework that will guide you. It's a guidance that will guide us into it. We are here with our partners, Redington, to support you. And there is also a platform called the Azure Migrate, a hub for your migration. I'll touch on that again. Now, when you come to your migration journey, it is based on the framework. This is a Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework. So as you can see, look at the bottom left, you see that it is a people, process, and technology thing. It's not just technology. It's not just a matter of IT copying things to the cloud, but we need to define the strategy, okay? The strategy will be defined by people. Then we have the Microsoft Center of Excellence to support us with Redington. Then we, the partners, are also here to define it. What do you have? Are you migrating or you are building something new? What are the compliance that you must meet? What are the industry standards you must meet? We need to define it. Then we need to plan. We do an assessment of the environment. We do total cost of business and business case. We'll be able to tell you how much that system will cost when you go to the cloud. And it is exact. We've done that with a number of customers. They have not gone beyond that unless they go and spin off more servers. Mostly, the budget is a bit higher than what they anticipate. So it is not that you go to the cloud, then all of a sudden cost. I know it's one of the concern of people that I go to the cloud, then there will be crazy cost and then I cannot come back. You can always come back, but there is no need for you to go and come when you can envisage, plan properly, and then execute. Then when we go into it, we go to readiness, we do scaling, you do training, whether directly with Microsoft, with us, or with our partners. You adopt, you manage, and then you govern, and you are well protected. So it's a journey. It is not something that we just click and go. It's a process. And the Azure Migrate is a central hub for your data center migration. So we have some organizations that have migrated entirely everything to the cloud. In that case, you use the Azure Migrate, multiple scenario, diverse capability. We are able to visualize centrally, and we are able to either migrate. The migration can be a Windows, it can be Linux, it can be database, it can be web, and all this can go, including virtual desktop. And then we are able to go through and do a comprehensive discovery, assessment, migration capability using by Azure and even third-party tools. So it's a system that will take our time. And if you look at this screen here, we are able to use the Microsoft, the SMART, what you call the Strategic Migration Assessment and Readiness tool. There's a tool. When we put it inside your system and you set up within your data center, it will be able to analyze. And then we're able to check your readiness. If your readiness is at the medium, then we say, hold on. If you high, then we go. So we need to and we know all the areas. So if there are other areas, whether it's a business strategy, partner support, or migration plan that is not well planned, we need to fine tune it and make sure that it is good before we go. So it is not a knee-jerk reaction. It is something that we even support, that you should take your time and get into. And that's why we are sponsoring it, so that we can take your time and know it well. So as I'm wrapping up, what are some of the figures? I think that's some of the questions somebody will ask me, that all this you're talking about, is it going to be $10,000 a month? We don't have that kind of money. No. With our partner, Redington, 1 terabyte, a full terabyte of Azure blob storage for unstructured data on cloud, $22 a month, 22, meaning that the whole year, you are not even talking about $500 a year. If all you need is a blob storage to support your thing, we can integrate it with Vim backup for long-term retention with Veritas. So you may need just a location to use your Vim or your Veritas solution to back up data and go and put it there for you. In that case, if it's up to 10 terabytes, you pay $22 only. Okay? A typical virtual machine of 2 core and 4 gig memory, okay, to use, where you can replicate your on-premise AD, your file server, and other, or you can host application on it. It can be your web server, or migrate and use your DR purpose in it business. You know, maybe you have some business critical application you want to put on it, and all that. And if you look at it, you are just looking at basically $35 a month. $35. If it's business critical, is when it might go for 50. So for a virtual machine, all-purpose virtual machine, you are not looking at even $50. If it's $50 a month, you're talking about $600 for the whole year, and it could save you a lot of trouble. Then if you would look at backup, if you're going to do the Azure backup and you do cloud backup, if you're adding the cloud backup, and that can protect you and back up your solution, keep it safe and save you with all the trouble, you are looking at barely $63 a month to be able to have a very, not just copying the file there, but being backed by policy that you are able to do the 3-2-1 or whatever combination of backup that you want to do. And that is less than $100. And if you're looking at the server is in the cloud, what effort have you made to protect it? Using the Microsoft Defender, one of the top tier server, whether you are going to do on-prem physical server virtual machine protection, or you are spinning the server on the cloud, and that server you want to protect it, is barely $15. With just $15, you can have one of the most advanced data protection, or let me say information protection system in terms of the Defender, antivirus, as you call it, or anti-malware system to protect your server in the cloud, to give the assurance to your customers that you're on point. So that's basically about that. These are some of the indicatives. So I've taken you through what the solution is, what is available in general, what are some of the specific you can look at, and then some of the smart moves you can do, and even made you aware that there is a good backup process to support you to migrate. So there's a migration team that will help you to make sure, and the tools that will help you to make sure that you can go peacefully, and also even in showing you some indicative figures.